Well, hello everybody, it's Suffolk Andy here with...
Suffolk Amy!
And today we're at a slightly different location than what we usually frequent.
Yes!
Yes.
A little back alley in the middle.
Yeah, we're at the Hadleigh Railway Walk. Okay. I'll explain a little bit about the actual railway here, and Amy will explain the paranormal side of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this was a railway built in Victorian times, and it ran from the main Ipswich to London line into Hadleigh. Now, the railway was built in 1847, and it carried passengers and freight till 1932.
Yep.
And the actual railway closed in 1965.
Yeah, in the 60s. Supposedly, there is, very apt for Halloween, a Headless Horseman who can be seen and felt riding through here. There have been accounts of people hearing the clip-clop of his horse's footsteps behind them as they've gone under this bridge, so that's why we're here.
I think
Some spooky Halloween realness for you. So.
This place was one of 10 places put into a list of haunted places in Suffolk, and they said this was one of their most haunted places, one of the 10. I, for 1 minute, don't think it is. I really don't.
It's kind of come out of nowhere.
It's come out of nowhere.
So.
I've been here numerous times in the past with the kids when they were little and walked them through here, because it's 2¼ miles from here to Hadleigh and 2¼ miles back. So yeah, so we're going to do a little bit of an investigation here to see if we can connect to anybody. If we can't, we won't. But we're under this little bridge, which is all part of the old railway.
Yes.
And we can see.
And actually, we've already had a slight experience.
Oh, you talk.
We're walking down from yonder way, and of which there are now people, because of course. We were walking down and we heard the sound of like a, you know, when trains brake and they sort of slightly squeak. We heard that, but coming from trees. I've never heard a tree make a noise of a train brake, so...
I wasn't actually walking with you, so I can't say I heard it. I was quite away up
cameraman
front.
Dan, can you vouch?
Yeah.
Not the camera.
Did you hear it as well,
Yeah.
Dan?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so maybe we might pick up something today. So we're just going to let some walkers and their dogs go past and get on with the investigation. Right, put them straight myself. Is there anybody in this area connected to the railway? If there is, will you please cross these rods? Can you please cross these rods? Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. We come with love and peace and no animosity. Can you put these rods forward, please? Can you put these rods forward, please? Right, thank you very much. Can you put them both forward, please? Both straight, then we can have a conversation. Can we have a conversation? You get yours, Amy, as well. Can you put these both straight? They're just sort of a bit uncontrollable at the moment. Right, we're going to have another go now. We've just moved down the path a little bit to get under... for getting under the bridge, because I think there's a lot of metal and I was wondering if that was affecting the rods.
Yeah.
So we're out of that now, so we'll start again. Is there any spirit people here connected to the railway or even not connected to the railway? If you are, could you cross these rods, please? Could you cross these rods? Could you cross these rods, please? Thank you very much. Thank you. Could you make them go out straight, please? Could you make them go out straight? That's fantastic. Are yours moving?
No, but my left one's like vibrating.
Right. Now you've moved my rods, can you cross Amy, the young lady beside me? Can you cross her rods, please? Can you cross them? Can you please cross her rods, the same as you cross mine? Could you cross them, please? Shaking, aren't they?
Yep, my left one is fully like vibrating.
Okay. If you're still with us, were you connected to the railway when you was on this plane? Was you on working on the railway? If you was, will you cross these rods? Can you cross these rods if you worked for the railway? Can you move these rods and cross them if you worked for the railway?
Oh,
Ah, thank you very much. Ah, thank you. Thank you. He's crossed them both. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you very much. Can you make them go straight now, please, so we can have a conversation? Like I said, we come here with love and peace.
Well,
Can
it's
you-
started straightening now.
Can you make the other ones with Amy go straight, please, as well? Thank you very much. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Like I say, we come here with love and peace, and we just want to talk to you. Did you work on this railway from the very start, when it was first built? Did you work on this railway then? So, the spirit that was talking to us a little while ago, before we were interrupted, if you're still here, will you cross my rods, please? We'd really appreciate that. And we're sorry that we had to cut that out. But did you build this railway? Were you one of the workers who made this railway through here? Who cut it through from the main London line to Hadleigh? Did you build this railway? Did you build this railway? Were you here right at the start? If you was, cross these rods. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Can you cross Amy's rods?
Was that a yes to building it or being here at the start?
Being here at the start, I think.
Right.
Can you put these forward, please? Thank you.
So that'll be 1847?
Would that be in the 1847s and onwards? Because I think it took a year or two to build. Were you here then?
Nope.
Can I ask you, did you lose your life building this railway? Did you die building this railway? If not, can you cross these rods, please? If not, can you cross these rods? We'd appreciate that. Can you put Amy's rods straight, please? Ask them to put them straight, Amy.
Can you just move this one round so it's forward again for me, please? That be okay? You can move it around. You can move my hand if you want to, if it's easier. Oh, it's wobbling.
Did you work on the actual trains? Was you a train driver? Or a fireman? Shoveling the coal? Was you a conductor? Or did you just work on the tracks? Did you work on the maintenance of the tracks? If you did, will you cross these rods, please? Was you a train driver?
Would they have had to have cut out this piece of land for the railway, like
They
flatten it?
did, and there is a story to that as well, which I know about.
Oh?
At the time this railway was built, the embankment further down was the highest embankment in Britain. Yeah. Ah. Can you remember that? The embankment was the highest embankment in Britain. Yeah, at that time.
Well,
Thank you. Can you put Amy straight now, please? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can you put mine straight now, please? Thank you. You are so helpful, and we're so glad and happy that you're talking to us. Yeah, so the embankment here was one of the tallest embankments in Britain at the time, because they had to cut through a hill and into a valley. If you imagine that, they carted all the soil from the hill into the valley, and that made, if you walk further down there, the banks are massive. You look right down.
Right.
Yeah. If you're still with us, will you cross my days and rods, please? If you're still with us, will you cross my days and rods? Thank you very much.
Can you cross these one? Okay. Yep. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can you make mine go straight, please? Can you make mine go straight, please? Can you make mine go straight? Both of them, please. Both of them.
You know.
Right straight. Can you make Amy's go straight? Can you make Amy's go straight? I'll have to make them go
Can you
straight.
push that one back round? Make them go straight out? You're wobbling it. Right the way round? Oh,
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
thank you.
Can I ask you, can you see us? Can you see us standing here on the old railway line? If you can, will you cross my rods? If you can see us, will you cross the rods, please? You can certainly hear us, but can you see us? Can you see us? If you can, will you cross the rods, please? I'd appreciate that.
We can't see you, just so you're aware. I don't know if you
Yeah. We
You are
can't
not
see
really-
you, but
can't
can
see
you
you.
see us? If you can, will you please cross the rods? Whoop. Thank you very much. Can you point my rods to where you are standing? Where are you standing? If you're standing in the vicinity, can you point the rods to where you're standing, please? Where are you standing? Can you point both rods to where you are? Whoop. Can you point Amy's rods to where you're standing? There. Can you point Amy's rods to where you're standing?
Can you push the other one round? The one in my right
idea.
hand. Can you move the other one? I know you can move that one, but can you move the other one? Is that okay?
I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Right, we're going to try the crystals now. We had some fantastic results with the Dawson rods, actually pointing to where he was, what he was doing, moving both.
Yeah.
So, but then that sort of went off the boil a bit, didn't it?
Yeah.
So we're going to just see if you can find using a crystal any easier. Right, they're both spinning. Yeah,
One's going backwards and forwards.
yeah, mine's sort of, yeah, it's spinning. Right, let's get this never quite right there. Right, the spirit we were talking to, the railway worker, if you're still with us, will you spin my crystal, please? Will you spin it, please? Oh, look, here we go, Ames. Can you spin Amy's crystal, please? Is it spinning? Can you spin them both? We'd really appreciate that. That proves that you are here.
It's all going back and forth.
I'm getting the name John. Is your name John? If your name is John, will you stop my crystal, please? If your name is John.
Mine's just started spinning the opposite way to what it always
Yeah.
does.
Let mine stop. If your name was John and you've stopped my crystal, can you stop Amy's, please? Can you stop Amy's? I know it's a heavier crystal. Yes, just about.
Yep.
Thank you very much, John. Right, so we know your name is John. If that's correct, spin my crystal once more. Yeah,
It's going back and forth again.
yeah. Thank you very much. So we know you helped build the railway. If you helped build the railway, you've stopped my crystal. Yeah, yeah. You know how this is going. Yeah. So you helped build the railway. Can I ask you once again? Was you an Irishman? Did you come from Ireland? If you came from Ireland, will you spin the crystal? We're trying to find out a bit more about you, John.
We're like Irish people. I'm a quarter Irish myself, if that helps.
Yes, she is. So you was Irish. Spin the crystal if you was Irish. I did know that a lot of Irishmen worked on this construction, and I read the history of it. Thank you very much. Can I ask you, did you pass over working on this railway? Did you pass over working on this railway? If you did, John, will you spin the crystal?
I have a big spin happening right now.
Can you spin the crystal if you passed over on this railway? Thank you very much. Can I ask you, was you buried alongside the railway? Was you buried or laid to rest alongside this railway where you died? Did the men bury you here? If they did, will you spin the crystal?
One's just going back and forth now.
If you are buried, you are. Yeah. Yeah, they would have done anyway. Thank you very much, John. You can stop my crystal now. That's fantastic. John, is there anything I can do for you? Anything at all I can do for you? If there is, will you spin this crystal? Will you spin this crystal? Is there anything I can do for you? No. Right, we've just moved a little bit further this side of the bridge. See if we can pick up anything here. The Spirit of John, are you still with us? If you're still with us, mate, can you cross these rods please again, so we can carry on our conversation? Can you cross these rods please, mate? Can you cross these rods? Can you cross them? Thank you very much, mate. Thank you for having patience with us. Every time we try and speak to you, somebody will come and we have to stop. So I know your name is John, I know you're Irish, and I know you've been buried somewhere along this 2¼ mile stretch. Was you buried at the start where the station is? Where the station is, by the little road. Were you buried that end? If you was, will you cross these rods please?
Is that back that way?
Yeah, to my... Yeah, it'd be to my back, wouldn't it? Facing my back, that way. Were you buried there? Was you buried at Hadleigh? Hadleigh end of the line. Did you get buried at the end of Hadleigh? Or are you buried in somewhere just along the sides of this track? Did they bury you in a field? Are you buried in a field? If you're still with me, John, will you cross these rods? If you're still with me, John, will you cross these rods? It's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone.
We did do quite a bit though, so I don't know.
We did. We got quite a bit there. We did find out that he's buried along here somewhere, probably in a field or in a bank.
That's sad.
Yeah, probably left Ireland, came over here to build railways, which they did, and canals. They dug the canals out as well, the Irish.
Yeah.
And wherever they died, they just buried them on the side of the road or wherever the work was.
Yeah.
And I think you'll find that probably on this stretch, if you could ever find out, and you never will now, there's probably dozens, you know.
Yeah.
And the people at home never heard of them again. It's easy as that.
Yeah.
And it's quite sad, really. I can feel that sadness, actually. Yeah. I think the whole... Have you noticed the whole thing has come down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot. Yeah.
A lot. We've just come to the end of the Hadleigh Railway walk investigation. What do you think, Amy?
I think it was pretty good. I enjoyed talking to John. Bit gutted that we didn't see any Headless Horsemen, but There you go.
Well, I think that's an urban legend, really, that one.
It
But
would
I
have
think,
been so cool.
yeah, I know. I think the challenge is to walk down here
In the
middle of-
dark.
in the dark and
Jace?
see. Jace, there you go,
You
Jace.
up?
This one's for you, mate.
You up for it?
You're up for it. This one's for you. No, seriously. It was the first time we'd actually put the days and rods together, and they worked.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. I was quite impressed with that. Yeah, overall, I didn't expect anything here. But then tagging up with John and finding out he was Irish and finding out that he built the thing and finding out that he died here and he's buried along this track somewhere, which is logically because that's what they would have done in them days. You know, they wouldn't have took him anyway. He would have definitely landed up buried along here. So I was quite, yeah. And the other thing is, we had a young man come down on a push bike and said, "Hey, you Suffolk Andy?" And I went, "Yeah, I watch your vlogs." So I can't even get away from that side of it. So,
In the middle of nowhere.
in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, I do get asked at motorbike shows and stuff like that, but it's the first time in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, that was quite interesting. But going back to the investigation, what's your final thoughts on that, Ames?
I think it'll be very different at night time. I believe that you would feel, because it's one way and one way. I think you would feel like there's someone behind you. Potentially there's that fear there because you've just got miles of straight line behind you, so you're going to feel that way.
Very happy with this one. The days and rods situation and the crystals was unbelievable. What more can I say? I'm just blown away with this one. So with that, it's
Stay spooky, everyone.
stay spooky, and from Suffolk,
Amy.
Suffolk Andy. See you all later.
Bye.
Bye. Is there anybody else here?
Mary, was that you?
If there's anybody here from the spirit world who'd like to talk to us, we come with love and peace.
A lot of people who are alive at the moment constantly ask the question of, is there life after death? Do you know the answer to that?